quality trained security officers and virtual officers.
Welcome to the Titan Protection Podcast. We are here today with Tanisha Freeman. Tanisha is our dispatch manager and video analyst extraordinaire. You are you have a knack for catching people stealing stuff and arresting. And we've done some arrest videos in the past, and I thought this time we had one a couple days ago. Was this a construction site?
It was in Chicago.
And I thought we could kind of walk through and maybe show the clips and what you were seeing on your end, and ultimately what happened. Just a brief overview on video monitoring. We have cameras out there that have analytic capabilities that will tell us when there's unwanted activity, or at least activity that would need our attention. And so from your perspective, you're in our monitoring center and you get an alert from the software that tells you, hey, this needs some attention, and then kind of go from there. So I'll show first the first clip that you received, and you can kind of walk us through these.
Sure.
From here. And just too, as a quick, how long have you been with Titan?
3 years.
3 years
in December.
How many arrests have you had this year so far?
This year so far 4. Last year was 20.
Wow. That's incredible.
I can definitely say I enjoy what I do.
Well, it shows. I know you have a knack for this type of thing, but let's start with this first one. So this would be what you got as the first clip, and kind of walk us through what you're seeing here.
Right. So I started processing the alarm. You know, the alarm comes through MX, it alerts us, and I opened the alert. And the first thing that I saw was the suspect carrying like a toolbox through the construction site. It actually looked like he was staging items so he could just grab them and get away with them pretty fast later.
And that's a tough clip because, I mean, you're only seeing him at the very top. It's almost like a needle in a haystack kind of thing where, you get clips, and sometimes we get some nuisance alarms that may be just a piece of trash blowing through or something like that. But that one, he was walking up through the top. And this was a site where nobody should be at.
Exactly.
So it kind of stood out. When you got that first clip, then what did you do from there?
I followed notes immediately. It was to dispatch police. We got on the phone with police, got them en route, and then the next thing to do is contact the client and let them know that we have police en route. And this clip is actually what got police en route even faster, because the item that he was carrying before turned out to be a toolbox. He broke open the toolbox, got a hammer, and he was walking through the property rifling through stuff and doing it with a hammer. And I called Chicago Dispatch and let them know, like, hey, he's walking around with a hammer now.
So this is kind of giving them some real-time information to say this isn't somebody that's just prowling around a property. Now he's got a crowbar or a hammer, and he's up to something, which steps their urgency
Exactly.
up. So you're on the phone with him, or walk us through this one.
Okay, so this one is one of my favorites. So the police had an amazing, Chicago, for it to be super busy, they had an amazing response time after the last update was given about him walking around with a hammer. They surrounded the property. There's an alley that has a gate, and they were getting ready to make entry. And he saw them. He saw the red flashing lights, and then he walks back because he's looking for a way to get away from them, to elude them.
That may be this clip.
Yes. So not soon after, this is when he runs into the arms of actual police officers.
So at this point, he's detained, or he walks into the
he walks right into him,
right into the police officers, and they take him into custody. And to your point too, Chicago is a very busy police department, and
it is.
That's one of the powers of video monitoring, is since you're describing it in progress, you can get the assets and the resources of the police department responding, because they have the confidence that they can deal with it in real time. And
I've actually had police departments, like from our standpoint, we're doing non-emergency, and you don't want to feel like you're bothering them. But I had a police department actually thank us, because they're like, you guys, it's not an alarm company. You guys are actually like, you're our eyes when crimes are happening, like they actually thanked us for that.
Wow. That's great. That's a good feeling. And the last clips, I think this is the police officers as they were, may be a little bit out of order. This was when they arrived. Oh, there he is right there.
Mm-hmm. They had the place surrounded. There was no way for him to get away. They had the front surrounded, which is not, we don't see that, but they had the front surrounded and they had the alley. There was no way for him to get away.
So he's wandering around trying to find some place to leave. Oh, okay. I didn't see this. So this is where they actually take him into custody up there.
There was no point. He
just walked in and said, "You got me. I'm surrounded." And
there was nowhere for him to go.
So it's kind of tough to see there, but he's prone out on the ground. They're searching him and getting him into custody there. I didn't catch that on the first time through.
Well, and something else is like police departments aren't required to give us dispositions.
Right.
Chicago, since they're so busy, they don't give us dispositions unless they actually make contact with somebody. And with them having him, like, they let me know we have him in custody. I could see it. Right. And at this point, they take him into the police car. The client actually had to be about 45 minutes away. They held him there.
Till they came and wanted to pursue charges on that side. Have we had any feedback from the client or any other follow-up?
So he was super happy to actually have caught somebody.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Well, great job. That is one, kind of showing it in action. This is something that prevented, obviously, this guy didn't get an opportunity to damage much or certainly didn't take anything. Glad you're on our side. I always feel bad for folks that are out trying to steal stuff when you're on the watch because you have a knack for this type of thing. And
I think it's what I was meant to do. I definitely enjoy it.
I think so too. You're really good at it. Appreciate you sharing this with it. Any other thoughts on this incident? Any other details or items?
Just that when Titan tells you to leave, you should leave. We give you warnings. We don't, we would rather deter you with audio talk down first. If you ever hear us saying you're trespassing on private property, it's not a recording. You need to leave.
It's time to leave. No, I agree. Great job. One of many more. We are going to break these down. I think I like this interview style of when we get these kind of walking through the clips. It really shows the power of video monitoring and how it works. But great job. Appreciate the help.
Thank you.
Thanks.